Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and today we're talking Game of Thrones. All week long, I'm participating in a Game of Thrones week with Almost Sideways, Zach Pope, Matthew Aaronholt, and David Gerlach, in which we release lists of some of our favorite and least favorite things from Game of Thrones. And today, I'm sharing my 5 least favorite characters from Game of Thrones. For the purpose of this ranking, I'm not discussing the characters that are the worst written or just like bad characters per se. I'm talking about the 5 characters I hate the most. Just horrible people that I do not like. So let's kick things off with number 5. As you'll see when we get to the honorable mentions, there are a lot of characters I really don't like in the Game of Thrones universe. But what landed good old Walder Frey on this list is not only did he stab the Starks right in the back and play a pawn to the Lannisters and then turn around and brutally kill all of the Starks in the Red Wedding, he just was a nasty, old, vile man. I just couldn't stand him. Whenever he was on the screen, I was just like, ugh, God, somebody just killed this person already. Thanks for doing us all a solid, Arya. But obviously, his part in the Red Wedding is a big reason why he gets so much well-deserved hatred. At number 4, I have Littlefinger. First of all, Littlefinger is just like creepy to the max. I mean, he is just a nasty little creeper off in the sidelines, manipulating people. Oof, I can't stand Littlefinger. But he solidified all of the bad things I kind of already thought about him when he stabbed Ned Stark right in the back and pretty much led to his death. Then he sold off Sansa to the Boltons. He's always acting in pure self-interest. He's just not a good person. He is selfish, he is backstabbing, he is scheming, he is gross, and his weird obsession with Catelyn and then with Sansa Stark is disgusting. So we all knew he wanted Ned dead so that he could go ahead and sneak on over to Catelyn. Didn't work out for him. But it all led to me just hating his character and counting down the days until someone finally does the work and kills him. At number 3, I have Cersei Lannister. Cersei has done so many vile things over the course of the show, and it all started right off the bat when she insisted on one of those direwolves being killed when really there was no need for her to insist that. Right then and there, I knew I was going to hate this woman, and she stayed true to form. The fact that she sleeps with her brother and has had 3 kids by him is pretty gross enough. But then you just kind of look at her personality at large. You realize, oh, that's actually one of the least disgusting things you've done, isn't it, Cersei? Talk about backstabbing, maniacal, and moralist. These are all words that easily describe Ms. Lannister. Plus, she is a master at revenge, and she comes up with the most diabolical ways of getting revenge on people. And even when we don't necessarily love those people, it's hard to watch. She always pushes it that one extra step. And that's why it was so crazy that the High Sparrow one-upped her and made me feel sorry for her. But then she brought it right back. I was okay with her blowing up the Sept. What I wasn't okay with was having the Mountain rape that woman. It was too much, and she immediately went back to being too much. And then you just see her devious ways. Overall, she's just a horrible human being. And again, kind of like with Littlefinger, I cannot wait until the day somebody finally takes her out. At number 2, I have Ramsay Bolton. I have to say, these top 2 are pretty much equal and swap the spot of the worst human in the Game of Thrones universe for me very often. But wow, Ramsay was just horrible. And he was horrible in a way that was so uncomfortable to see him on the screen. Whenever he came on, you just instantly like tensed up and were like, oh God, no, why? From what he did to Theon Greyjoy, to taking Sansa on their wedding night in the fashion that he did, to then killing an innocent woman and their child by way of like dogs eating them alive. He just committed like horrific mind and physical games on people constantly throughout his tenure on the show. The only thing that kind of sucked for me was I felt his death was a little bit lackluster. I needed a little bit more from that death scene for Ramsay, but undeniably, Ramsay was horrible. So before I reveal my least favorite character from Game of Thrones, I have quite a few honorable mentions, because there's a lot of people I've hated. Randyll Tarly was a racist piece of garbage, completely unloyal and horrible to Samwell in like the most disgusting way possible. So, no, I didn't like him and didn't really care that he got burnt to death. Viserys Targaryen was awful, and that was evident right from episode 1 with him like molesting Daenerys, and it just made my skin crawl. Every time his little nasty mouth opened for him to speak, my skin crawled, and it was so satisfying when Khal Drogo was just like, you know what, here's your crown, boy. But really, the only reason Viserys didn't make it onto this list is that we only had to deal with him for part of the first season. Whew. Because if I had to have that around for much longer, he might have been battling for number 1, if we're being honest. The High Sparrow was a repugnant fool. This religious zealot was so horrible to just watch as he ran around on his high horse, taking power. And he made me feel sorry for Cersei Lannister, and that automatically makes you one of my least favorite characters. If you can do that, you're pretty horrible. Stannis Baratheon has a soft spot in a lot of people's hearts. People still kind of like claim him as one of their favorite characters, and I just cannot fathom why. First of all, I didn't really like him as a person in general, but then he killed his own brother thanks to Melisandre, and I loved Renly, so I was not happy about that, and it clearly sealed the deal when he turned his daughter over to be burned alive. That is an irredeemable act for me, and should be, I think, for most people. And I was done with Stannis. He barely missed this list. As did Melisandre, who was the one who birthed that nasty demon child to kill Renly, and was the one who convinced Stannis to burn his daughter alive. And she was right there, and she was dead inside. No feeling toward it. She has been just this horrible person throughout, trying to like kill Gendry. She's horrible. The only reason. And she literally was on this list until I really started evaluating and putting like pros and cons together. And the only thing that saved her from making my 5 worst characters is that she did bring Jon Snow back. So she had one redeemer, where Walder Frey has 0. At number 1, I have Joffrey Baratheon. Yes, he and Ramsay are pretty much neck and neck when it comes to being terrible. But what ends up winning it for Ramsay, I just had to deal with him a lot longer, and he had a lot more screen time. Plus, he was just insufferable. Joffrey had no redeeming qualities to him. He was a brat, he was an idiot, he was spoiled, he killed Ned, he tortured Ned's then daughter Sansa after that, the way he like played with and tortured those prostitutes, his anger and disdain toward Tyrion, just everything Joffrey did made me so angry. Where Ramsay made my skin just crawl, I was disgusted. Joffrey made me like want to reach in and kill him myself. I just like couldn't handle him. He was too much. From the very first episode through the day he finally frickin' died, too much. So that is my list of the 5 worst characters from Game of Thrones. Make sure you head on over and check out Matthew Aaronholt, Zach Pope, Almost Sideways, and David Gerlach's list, as they'll also be sharing their least favorite characters. And also, I want to hear from you. Who are your 5 least favorite characters on the show? And what did you think of the many characters I listed? Let me know either in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!